There will never be another anime like Dragon Ball Z, and here's why. First and foremost, let's talk about the story of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is one of the most well-known anime series of all time. There's so many ways you can consume this series. You can read the manga, watch OG Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z Kai, and if you really wanted to, you can learn some of the story through the games. If you aren't familiar with the Dragon Ball Z story, what have you been doing all this time? I feel like it's almost impossible to not have experienced or watched Dragon Ball Z if you were born before 2010. Anyways, the story in my opinion is really easy to follow and has some of the most iconic moments like Goku versus Vegeta in the Saiyan saga, Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Majin Vegeta, Vegeta versus Buhan, Goku and Vegeta versus Kid Buu, and so on. Even though DBZ is mainly fighting, the story has emotional moments that keep you invested enough to keep watching. Not to mention the wide array of memorable characters. If I were to put up a picture of the Z Fighters, I would expect you to name majority of them. Like, the Z Fighters are pretty distinct in design and have easy names to remember. Now let's talk about the villains. Not gonna lie, DBZ has a good catalog of villains. Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, and Buu are just the main villains. From the movie, we got Broly, Cooler, Bojack, Android 13, Turles, and Janemba, just to name a few. The anime and movies do a great job of giving you a character and making them feel important. For example, in the Saiyan saga, personally I would say Gohan was really important in comparison to Goku and Piccolo. But as time went on, Gohan's role in the story kept progressing. He had a way larger role and an even bigger role in the Cell saga. He was damn near the main character for the entire second half of the saga. Another example is Vegeta. He went from a main villain to a main character and became one of the most prominent characters in DBZ. I do feel like DBZ characters may not have the most in-depth characters, but the ability to create so many likable characters, both heroes and villains, just goes to show how great DBZ is. Even the character designs are perfect. Trunks, in my opinion, is the cleanest character in DBZ, and you can't change my mind. But other characters like Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Gogeta, Vegito, I could really keep going, but you get my point. All have great character design. Not to mention the villains like Janemba, Cell, and Broly have interesting designs as well. The greatness of DBZ even seeps into the games. Well, some of the games. Let's skip past the bad ones. Anyways, some of the best DBZ games are the Budokai games, Budokai Tenkaichi games, Raging Blast 1 and 2, Xenoverse 1 and 2, and Kakarot. Sparking Zero, which recently got a gameplay trailer, shows some promise. I hope this game really will go down as one of the best DBZ games of all time, but we'll have to wait and see. Please don't hold this game. But the games I just listed are some of the best ways to consume DBZ content in a game. For gameplay, I would say either Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Raging Blast 2, or Xenoverse 2 are your best bets. For story, Kakarot is the best one to go. It captures the magic of the original series, especially with the anime-like graphics and cinematic cutscenes. Also incorporates things from the manga that weren't in the anime. If you haven't played Kakarot, you're sleeping on one of the best retelling of DBZ out of all of the games. The thing I love most about DBZ is the level of impact it had on the people around the world. Almost everyone knows or has heard of DBZ. That just goes to show how much influence it's had on the world. Not to mention the amount of influence it's had on the anime community. If DBZ never existed, most of our favorite anime series probably wouldn't exist. It's a well-known fact that DBZ is basically the father of the big three and anime in general. We all know how much the big three has led to the anime we watch today. I'm so glad that there's people out there who feel the same way I do about Dragon Ball Z. By the way, DBZ was one of the first animes I've watched as a kid and eventually led me to watching One Piece. I don't think I would be watching anime right now if DBZ never existed. To be honest, I wouldn't even be making anime videos right now. Now it's time to talk about one of the greatest to ever do it. Akira Toriyama. For the people who don't know who that is, he's the creator of Dragon Ball. On March 1st of this year, he sadly passed away. The main reason why I wanted to do this video is because I wanted to not only commemorate his work, but also talk about the level of influence he's had on the world. It's beautiful to see how much people care about DBZ and the man behind making it. From content creators to celebrities to mangakas to even news channels, Akira Toriyama has done something that many people may never do, and that's something to be proud of. I'm grateful to have experienced this anime when I was younger, and all I have left to say is thank you, Akira Toriyama. 蹴られた地球が